Fund balance is essentially the district's savings account. The fund balance represents the financial wellness of the district and is evidence of the priorities of current leadership. The state requires local districts to maintain a 3% fund balance. However, Volusia County Schools has a policy that requires a 5% fund balance.
Our policy says we must maintain at 5% based on what the policy is for the state. And we've done our best to stay at 5%, as we are currently even watching some districts that have dipped below that, because if you get to 3%, the state comes in and takes you over.
As evidenced by the annual financial reports submitted to the Florida Department of Education, Volusia County Schools has maintained a fund balance well over their policy-driven 5%. At some points, double or triple the policy benchmark. The statement that the state comes in and takes a district over if the fund balance is at 3% is simply not true. The state fund balance requirement is 3%. If a district falls below 3%, the district must submit a plan to return to that benchmark. If a school district falls below 2% in the fund balance, the state may choose to intervene.
Using our savings account now, that's our fund balance is our savings. So we're going to have to use the savings that we have to, because our revenues are going to be a lot lower than our total expenditures for this next for the 24-25 calendar year. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to eat up our savings about at least $47 million of savings.
The statements you just heard were from 2023. We were led to believe that there was a need to eat up our savings, yet the result was the savings account grew by $32 million. When I use my savings account to pay for things, my balance goes down. It seems that the predictions of having less revenue were not realized. It's not just your union that's questioning the fund balance. In the fall of 2023, the school district approached the Volusia County Council with a request to fund additional deputies in several middle schools. What did the county council have to say about the fund balance?
How much money does the school board have in reserves?
Hi. Rachel Hazel, Deputy Superintendent. I don't have that exact figure. I can tell you what policy and legislation requires us to have, but if you're looking for the exact number of reserves, I would have to get that information from our CFO.
I might be able to help you. I did the homework. It looks like $134,053,625. Your general fund has $56,660,985, and your unassigned reserves has a balance of $26,844,339. I know you can't testify here before us today about the accuracy or not. I thought you all would have it on our one-on-one. I asked that question.
Additionally, we were reminded last year that due to the loss of the ESSER funding, the Volusia County school system was headed to another financial crisis. What really happened? Allocations for instructional positions were cut. Class sizes got larger. Student learning conditions were impacted. Student behaviors continued to intensify. And district leadership doubled down on their drive to reach that elusive A grade for the district.
Budgetary wise, I'll share with you all, I've shared with the superintendent as well as the admin team. Year after year after year, this is typically when we start the conversation, what it sounds like doomsday. Every year makes the news. They have a deficit. And this is actually, and it takes a little while to realize this is part of the process. And so, in the end, I don't think in the time that I've been here, we've had 1 year that we finished in the red. We just don't. We have.
So what does Volusia County Schools spend their money on? Budgets show priorities. VCS has a history of not prioritizing salaries for instructional and support personnel. Salaries for those doing the work of educating children are towards the bottom when compared to other Central Florida school districts. What are they prioritizing?
Superintendent and the then board chair negotiated a 4-year contract for the superintendent, 8.7% salary increase for the superintendent, a medical stipend for medical expenses of $500 per month, and also to give a car.
Be sure to stay tuned for additional updates. You can count on your union to keep you informed.